Well, how's it going, everybody? It is me, Gigasthiccas, and welcome to this video. And today we're gonna do something else. This format will be a bit easier for me to edit and still publish some informative stuff on Gigas. And this will be the start on key moves. So we're gonna talk about 4 or 5 key moves. Let's see, 4 key moves, and it is in command list order that I want to focus on. So we're gonna start with the first 4 moves that I really want to cover, because these might be the moves that sure everybody knows that they exist, obviously, but the strength and weaknesses on those moves and when you should use them, at what range you can use them. So let's just jump in and see what these moves are all about. So the first one will be the obvious elephant in the room, which is his jab. So why is his jab so important? Okay, his jab is exceptional, and I know people like to just spam jab and just hope something works, but let me elaborate on why his jab is so good. First of all, the obvious pro, the range. The range is so good. It is a good button to just check offense if they want to dash in, and you're like, no, how about, you know, stay a little bit over there. Let me just poke a little bit around with my jab. The frame advantage on hit and on block is really good. It's just a regular jab, as in the frames on hit or on block, which is +8 on hit and +1 on block. So there's literally no weakness on this, except for it being a high. So don't mash too hard on this, because people can just do buttons that will crush it. You know, like Hayachi's down back 2. Let me show you what I mean. As you see there, it's straight up lost because it's a high crush. So be a bit preserved on jabbing. And now let's talk about the strong things after a jab. Do not forget that that +1 on block does allow for great offense even on block. So what I mean here is you have a 13 frame mid being down for 3, right? So what does down for 3 do on hit? So down for 3-1 is +4 on hit, which is good, and even on block, if they don't duck the second hit, it's -4. So that's not a big thing to risk. There's no risk except for them ducking it, as it's a high on the end, right? To be honest, I don't see any reason to duck this, as Gigas has down for 3 1+2 launching on normal hit. So if they duck, it's a launch. Some people still do this against me. I kind of don't see the reason why. Because the risk is way too high for them ducking it, as it can get launched easily. But going back to the jab being so great on block, is this makes it 12 frames. Meaning that if they contest with a down forward 1, they lose this fight, because 12 frame beats 13s. So let me show you what I mean. So I swapped Gigas being the AI real quick, and I recorded him doing a jab into a down for 3 1+2, as you can see here. And I am mashing down for 1 with Hayachi. As you can see, the frame data says it's 13 frames. So I lost. Reason being, again, that +1 makes it 12 frames instead of 13, making it faster than your regular down for 1, which is really good. If people are really contesting with down for 1 checks after jabs, you got a reason to make them fair doing that. Also, one of the better things you can do after a jab is one of the go-to things I do most of the times, but keep in mind, don't overuse this, as they can break it, is a simple jab into command grab. This is really good because it actually makes your grab, when done right, 10 frames. Because +1 and a grab on its own is 11. So it is a 10 frame grab, which is really good to do. The magic behind this is, and I'm going to show you with the inputs here, is when doing a jab, you can already do the half circle back. See? If you do this right, the only thing you have to press here is forward 1+2. So that makes your grab really fast. So it almost is gapless if you do this really well. Even on hit, really good because you're +8, making the grab really fast. But on block, it's also really good, as it is as fast as a jab. So again, don't overuse this, as they can just simply break, or on hard read duck the grab. But it's definitely something you can test first, right? And if they are, for some reason, scared of breaking or seeing this grab, you can try different tools after a jab, like a simple down for 4 to check if they duck. You can even go for like a high crush option. So you can play around here and see what they do. One of the safer options also is like jab into like dashing away, to see what they do. Especially at the right range, you can just jab and backdash and you see what space we have in between. So that is the strength on jabbing with Gigas. Really good range, it's fast, amazing advantage or frames on block and or on hit. So see what you can do with the jab on your own. Try to you know, experiment a little bit with your own playstyle with the jab, but don't be too predictable on this, or else they would just high crush it or duck it or do stuff against it. Standing 4 is also one of those moves that I am guilty of not using it so often. People will think, but it's a 16 frame mid, not doing something on normal hit, and on counter hit it's a wall splat or a knockdown. Yeah, you're right, this is true, but first things first, and also it's -9 on block, which is kind of like really your turn is done after this on block, right? First things, it has amazing tracking. The tracking on this move is nothing to laugh at. It also covers his weak side, which is good. However, if spaced right, you still have some range or space in between Gigas and Hayachi, which is pretty good. Also, on hit is +4, being not bad at all, as you can frame trap with your 13 frame launcher down for 3 1+2, albeit being really risky. Or you can keep it simple and safe with a 4 1+2. Big damage on counter hit. Let me show you the counter hit. 64 damage. This also wall splats against the wall if you're close. More on this later, as this definitely is one of the key moves as well. And at the wall, this move gets even better. But this is a different situation, as this is going to cover the wall a little bit. After ending your combo, standing 4 is really handy to catch wake ups. If they do a wake up low or a wake up mid, they will get counter hit. So let me show what I mean. So basic down for 4 1+2, standing 4 beats mid and low. So if you hard read that they will do a low or a mid wake up kick after a wall combo, standing 4 is such a good potent tool to just throw out after a wall combo. And don't forget, it's a pretty lengthy mid. Like, the range is not bad, you see? It's kind of deceiving range. That still hit him at 2.7 units or whatever that is. 2.5. 2.3 easy. Let's try 2.5. Still hit him. So the range on standing 4 is not bad at all. Only thing, again, your turn is completely done, so be careful on using this. And do know that if you try this button, your turn is done if they block it. But on return, or in return, if you hit this on counter hit, that's a free knockdown for additional pressure, right? Or normal hit even. You got good tools to frame trap afterwards. Down for 4 is a really good one. You can down 3 them. You can down for 4 or down for 1, excuse me. You can 4 1+2. You have options to go after this. You know, down for 3 1. And if they block and they're really patient, start doing back 2s. Start doing forward 4s. Start doing forward 3-2 or 4-3-2 charge up. It's really about seeing what the opponent does first, retaliate on their reaction, but scout first what they do. Don't just randomly throw it out unless you're really certain that they will do something you already read after you did something else. It's a bit about, that's a bit the nature of Gigas. He can do really well if you're in their head, knowing what they will do after getting hit by some moves. Alright, so the next move will be 4-2 and all of the extensions, but first 4-2 on its own. So the glaring, or well, the missing strength here on 4-2 is the deceptive range. What if I say that this will reach? It reached. The range on 4-2 is phenomenal. That's kind of like Gigas' entire game plan as well. The range on some of his key moves are really good. Albeit, obviously, the weaknesses here being it's a high. That's number 1, it's a high. Number 2, it's -9 or -8 depending on range, on block. So your turn again is over. But you do have follow-ups, but if you want to use this as like a keep away move or a keep out move, your turn will be over if they block this and if you don't continue with those strings. So yeah, that's actually kind of like the only weaknesses, but these are pretty rough weaknesses, right? Your turn is done, and it's a high. And the startup is relatively slow on 17 frames or 16 frames, depending on where you hit it. But again, you do have some follow-ups to kind of remove those weaknesses, which will be number 1, 4, 2, 1. So as you can see on its own already, on block -3, not bad at all. Safe, good. It is a high, however, so that's already a weakness, being a high after a high hit or after a high move in the beginning of it. So they can duck this string entirely. So kind of risky, but it's a pretty fast follow-up. You see how fast the second hit comes around? Pretty fast. The good thing here is on hit, +5 is really good. +5, again, frame trapping galore. You can do down for 4. You can go for 1+2. The same kind of key moves you can use to frame trap after being at least minus or +4 or +5. Really good for Gigas. Again, however, the weakness also is that on hit, it doesn't gel. This is unfortunate because people can literally block this or duck this on hit and punish you. So please be careful just throwing this away or throwing it out, as people can randomly high crush it if they mash a high crushing move, or if read well or seen well, they can react on it, duck it, and even launch. So that's really the big weakness here. Let's go for the other extension, which is 4211. Arguably one of my favorite strings for Gigas, one of the most unique string, but also unfortunately one of the weaker strings. Here's why. So it starts with 2 highs and it ends with a mid. The mid already showing that it's -12, which is already a big, kind of like a pretty significant weakness there, right? It's unsafe. Unfortunate. However, I can see why. It's a 3-hit string. It's a mid in the end, so it's kind of like, I get why they made this unsafe, but also not because it started with 2 highs, right? And let's not even talk about Marduk's edition. He has the same similar string with a similar on-hit property, but let's not compare. That will make you depressed. This is where the string gets really unique though. So on hit, by the way, it doesn't jail on hit if you hit the second hit, which is also unfortunate, but on hits, that is really unique. This hit animation is one of the more unique hit animations in this game. Reason being, they cannot tech out of that at all. Everything here you saw there on hit, this entire animation, they have to eat that. They can stay on the ground, however, that's an option. But if they stand up, every single frame you saw there, they have to eat it. So what do I mean with eating it? Because that animation is significantly longer if you just compare it with teching up normally, right? You see how long it takes him to just stand up. So first of all, in the open, let me just put him to crouch. In the open, allows you for amazing Aoki, because you're really plus after this. +17 in the open is good for Gigas, right? If they wake up with a button, you have enough time to just dash in with punish for 1+2. Let me show you what I mean. You see how long I had the time to see if he pressed a button or not? That's really easy to see because that animation taking so long for him to recover out of it. That's why it's a really good string to try and contest with. But now let's go into the nitty gritty at the wall. So Hayachi's here at the wall, and if you hit this at the wall, you can already see that animation taking really long. And the plus here, the strength here is, you don't have to run up towards him. You're already at him because he's at the wall. Really good, right? So my options here are quick roll left, wake up backwards, and second option is guard all. Okay, so first things first, you get a guarantee down 2 here. Okay, as you can see, it counts as a second hit. That down 2 is good. Gives you flip over for guaranteed damage. So that down 2 already is pretty good, because if they quick roll or a back roll, that's the only way to avoid this splat here after down 2. So as you can see here, back roll, they can't tech out of it, right? That does allow you for Oki, right? Back 2, down 2 into forward 4, also really good. Down 2 into while running 2, right? or just a simple back two. You see how it still reached? Really good. So it's still your turn pretty much. If they back roll this. If they don't, you get other stuff that is guaranteed. So let me show you it again. You see how he still has that long recovery afterwards? That allows you for a free hit. Believe it or not. Second option, guard all. You see? You have multiple things you can do here to catch them if they stand up after the flip over, the pancake flip. You can even go for this, for back 1+2 into the golem stance cancel. But I kind of don't like this option, reason being, you have to factor that they have a back roll or they don't. You see what I mean? Like, it's kind of like you have multiple options, or you have to take in account multiple options to cover all those options. Here's my favorite option, and some of you already know this, but it's really worth mentioning again. 4-2-1-1 into sidestep back one. So if you time this right with the sidestep to the right side, so let me show you right now. That's a launch. And again, guard all, side roll left. Even if they do the right side, still launches. What happens if they back roll, as an example? It still launches, which is good. What if they don't do anything but just wake up? It still launches. What if they do literally nothing? Well, here's where they kind of win the war, because you only flip them up, but it's still plus 16 for Gigas. Really good, okay? What if they side roll? Or what if they stand up normally, you know, by just tapping up? You launch them back turn for crazy shenanigans. You can go from there. You see what I mean? Like, you can relaunch them. You can go from there. You know, you can do multiple things there. What if they front roll for any weird reason? You still flip them over. Side roll left. Still flipping over. You see what I mean? This option beats pretty much all options. Side roll right. Waking up? Not a smart idea. Counter hit launch. Wake up low. Counter hit launch. Recovery kick. Because of the angle, it doesn't give him a, like the toe kick. Look at the angle he's getting in. See? That is the kick you're getting. So, that still means launch. Recovery kick or spring kick? Not in that angle. You see? Now he did a spring kick. But in that angle, you negate them from doing a recovery kick or a spring kick. So if they match spring kick, they will only get that low kick. This low kick. You see? Spring kick. So 4-2-1-1 is such a unique string, especially at the wall. So give it a try, but don't just randomly throw it out. Try to condition them first by doing 4-2-1 into maybe another 4-2-1 if they are defensive, test their patience, and if they swing, then the 4-2-1-1 extension comes in handy to clip them at the wall. And for the last extension part on this 4-2 segment is 4-2 down 1. So I already mentioned before, 4-2 on its own is a high. 4-2-1 is a high. 4-2-1-1 is high, high, mid. You hear a lot of high, high. You also have 4-2, 4-1, high, high, right? So 4-2, and also I should not forget 4-2, 4-1. I will cover this string afterwards, after 4-2 down 1. But 4-2 down 1 is your answer against ducking opponents. You can see that it's -2 on block. That's kind of fake. It's not really -2. They can still do like a down for 1 to beat it, from what I know. But if they're not ready for it, you can always back hop into safety with the golem back hop, which is up back, by the way, for the people that don't know. But on hit, so let me put this man on guard or crouch on second action. Okay, so let's put him on guard all. So they block this and they want to duck your forward 2, forward 1, or forward 2, 1. What happens here is you hit them and look at the frame advantage. By the way, don't just do it without Golem. It's kind of shitty. Only +2. It's not really good. Especially if you have this. +13. Well, unfortunately, nothing here is guaranteed. Alright, so let me break it to you. Forward 2, down 1 into grab, that's not guaranteed, okay? It says +13, but it's +13 as an advantage, not real advantage, okay? So there's not something that you can just get something guaranteed. It's just a heavy amount of plus advantage for Gigas, which is good. Pros, you're really plus. You can always back up into safety. If they press a button, you can easily whiff punish with 4 for 1 +2, or down 2, or you can 4 for 2 at the wall. You have options here. Other pro, your grab attempt will be guaranteed. As in, I'm saying attempt. So I'm not saying your grab is guaranteed. You can clearly see if I put the opponent on break throws, they will easily break the throw. It's not a guaranteed throw. The attempt, however, is guaranteed. It's free. Reason being is, let me say, and let's put Hayachi on crouch, right? On both options. So, as you can see, he is crouching, right? Your grab is a high. He still hits. So what this means is, they have to break this. Your frame advantage is so much that the startup on full crouch moves are too slow to crush your grab, which is really nice. So if they match a full crouch move, from what I know, let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong, but for what I've tested and know, they cannot do a full crouch move. They will get clipped because of your frame advantage being +13, and the startup is too slow to crush your grab. Really good as well, so don't forget that detail. So the cons here will be, well, I was really hyping up the grab, right? But like I already said in the start, you can easily break this. So how do you open up someone in this situation, right? So you do have whatever this is. This low doesn't gel though, and it's also really risky to do. And this is where my weaknesses will start, because okay, you're +13. Okay, let's do some math here. Some math. This is 20 frames startup. You're +13. So how fast will this low be? So you have 20, 13 frames. Okay, so 20 frames, 13 makes it really fast, right? 7 frames. All right. What do you get here? If you hit this, you're neutral. It's pretty good, right? Like you can maybe buffer grabs. Pretty alright, but -16 is kind of fucking risky for a low that does how much damage? 14. It does, however, jail if people press buttons, okay? So that's definitely good. So let me show you what I mean. If they press any sort of button, you get this guaranteed. That's good. Albeit really risky because it's a high-low or a low-high. So if you pull the trigger, and you cannot confirm it, you have to commit. If they press a button, yeah, that's really nice, but really risky as well. So this is really like a hard read thing. If they randomly press at -13, I don't know who would do this, but I mean, people, they do exist. You can do that. However, you also have Golem 2. Golem 2 is your go-to after hitting forward 2, down 1. That makes people explode. Even mid-screen, let's look at the damage. Let's look at the damage. 36 on a counter hit is not bad, all right? Now, it also is a wall bounce, so it's pretty good damage, you know? I mean, that was a basic bitch combo, by the way. Not optimal at all. It's just like showing you guys what it can do. That's good damage. That's good damage. And here's why I prefer this one as well. If they don't press a button and they block, 0 on block. And some pushback. Not really at the wall though, but in the open, it has some pushback, which is really good. Look, that's really good for Gigas because his jab will reach. And if they press a button, backdash into down 2 will whiff punish them. So that's why I kind of prefer, if you hit this on block, or on hit, excuse me, if you hit this on hit, plus 13 makes Golem to Jill. Really handy, use this. I know people might use the low as well, and people will say, oh, so it's an actual mix. Well, no, because I would rather eat this than this, right? That's the terminology here. The mix-up is not a real mix-up because the low does nothing. The mid does something, right? And also you can go for Golem 1 if you really want to launch pressers. So if you really know that they will press a button, Golem 1 will clip them easily, right? That's just a free fucking counter hit launch. But again, it's unsafe. So if they block, not only is your turn done, but they can punish you. And a lot of people have 12 frame Punisher that hurt these days, 13 frame knockdown, so it's kind of not really worth the risk. I would rather go for a move that is neutral on block, gives me a knockdown or a wall bounce at the wall, than going for a launcher that is unsafe. But that's on me. If you really want to risk it, go for it because it's not launch punish, but it's still punishable, so you can go from there. And last but certainly not least, on the 4-2 strings will be 4-2 forward 1. This is a unique one as it is -9 on block, also high, so also really the riskiest of them all in my opinion because it's also slow. The range, however, not really bad. The range is pretty good. It's not like the 4-2 range on its own, but it's definitely serviceable. Also, launches on normal hits, albeit with a weird angle, but you can easily pick up after this. So sidestep a bit to the left, 4-4-2, down for 2-1. Easy, right? You can easily combo from this. It's really easy to combo. You have other routes as well, but that's just an example. You can even go for this, for super basic damage and some carry, but that's neither here or there. We're now entering the setup situations again. I'm sorry if I'm really focused on setups because I find them pretty unique and they can change the pace of the match. If you hit 4-2, forward 1, I already explained this a lot, also even covered it in a video, but for the people that don't know, 4-2, forward 1, sidestep to the right side and go for down back 3-2. Okay, so after that, you can sidestep to the right again and do 4-2 down 1 into Golem. This is one of my favorite setups I found. Yeah, I can say I found this. This is literally my tech. Pretty crazy. I found my own tech. Crazy, right? But if they stand up normally, you can relaunch them with Golem 1, which is really good. If you don't fuck up like me. I'm rusty, you can see it. Guard all. Second option is guard all. Quick roll left. You can even do this to the right. It launches. Back roll. Let's see what happens here. Launches. Quick recovery. Same story. But I'm just showing it for you guys so you can see that it just works. Here's the weakness though. If they don't wake up or stand up, actually. This is where you straight up whiff, right? You whiffed. You do have options to beat this though. If you hard read that they will stay on the ground, don't forget you can cancel out of Golem by tapping up, right? So tapping up, you see how Gigas does this random shimmy? My input here is up and back. You can also just do up, then you will sidestep, right? But up back makes it so that, let me show you in the display here. Up back makes it so that you're just standing instead of sidestepping or walking, right? So this, you see how fast it is? The random shimmy into like walking back makes you cancel the stance. So you're not really restricted doing stance moves anymore, because if I press 4, I will do that. But if I cancel into a 4, I can do back 4, you see? Or standing 4. Or forward 4. Or up forward 4 if you want to be the most ballsy guy in this planet. You see what I mean? You can cancel out of Golem by tapping up and going into either back, forward, down forward. Like down forward 4 out of a Golem stance. Possible. So what does this mean with the situation we were discussing earlier? Back 4 hits grounded. Cool thing on back 4 is, in certain angles, down 2 is guaranteed. You see? So, one more time. Oh, he's gonna stay on the ground? Cool. Cancel into back 4 into down 2. Nice. Here's a funny thing. If people get hit by the back 4, most of them are trying to stand up because, oh shit, I got hit grounded. Fuck, I have to stand up. So let's just say the typical quick roll left, right? It still hits them. It still hits them. If they wake up in between though, because oh shit, get off of me, right? So let's do wake up mid kick. Get launched. Same goes for recovery kick because people don't like recovery kick, right? So let me cover that for you. So you can see in that angle, he's not allowed to do a recovery kick because of the angle. And moving on to the last move of this video, and that will be forward 1+2. This move, I am super guilty of not using it more often. This move is literally just a magic 4 for Gigas. It's a pretty bootleg magic 4 with his hat, so we call it the magic 4 hat. And the properties on it are really good. The only downside, 2 of them, but one is shared with the magic 4 series as well, but the other one is the range. The range is pretty, it's okay, right? It's not the worst, but it can feel really short at certain ranges. And the recovery on whiff is terrible. You see, that's pretty shit. But you shouldn't throw this in mid-screen anyway, so this is something you should use at close range. Pro number 1. 13 frames, really good. +6 forces crouch, phenomenal on normal hit, right? Frame trap like crazy. You can frame trap with pretty much every tool you want here. From a down for 4, down for 1, down for 3, go nuts. Second pro, unblock, -5, pretty decent pushback as well. So that's again like backdash away and see what they do. Right, backdash 2, viable option if you hard read like a jab, right? Another pro, counter hit properties. You don't even have to combo and you do combo damage and carry. Look at the carry, look at the damage. 64, you didn't even need to combo. Already at the wall after 2. Really, really good. And also one benefit is if you're at the wall, Lord and behold, it wall splats, which is really good as well. 34 damage. Fun fact, the further you are from the wall, the more damage it does per tick, and it's still wall splats. So let me show what I mean. So if I'm too far, and let me put this man on counter hit. If I'm too far, it barely reached the wall, but it didn't splat. But if I hop once, 44 damage, and I got the wall splat. So let's just do a basic bitch combo here, right? So 75 out of 13 frame, -5 on block, 13 frame high. I don't call that bad. That's pretty good. Additional fun fact, this also wall breaks. So let me show you on a different stage what you can do with a wall break and a balcony break. So example number 1 will be a balcony break. So that's a basic example. I didn't do any fancy combos or something. 86 damage. It's not bad. And again, you can optimize this even further. I just did a basic bitch combo into a wall, but as you can see, it wall breaks even on the last tick. So you don't have to hit for 1+2 as fast as possible. No, you can let Gigas run a bit and let him break the wall or balcony to do even more damage. So now an example for like a wall break on Helicarrier as an example. Super basic combo, again, 89 damage. That's pretty good, right? So don't forget to use this move. I am really guilty of not using the move myself, but be aware that don't do this in like mid-screen or something randomly, because the frames on whiff is terrible, but the frames on block is really good. So you should really use this up close. Okay, fun tack. And this is the most common after hitting down back 2. If you're using a move that is +3 on hit, okay, so you have multiple moves. Fort 4 +3, down back 2 +3. Down back 2 is the most common one because people are most of the times they're tempted to check back after getting hit by a low. If they press a jab, right, you trade and you get a guaranteed down 2. If they do something slower, you still beat them. So let me show what I mean. Alright, so I am the grandpa right now, and you can see my inputs on the right side there. So I am getting hit by a down back 2. Gigas did, right? And Gigas will do a 4-1+2, and I will mash jab. And after getting hit by the 4-1+2 trade, you can see my input that I'm holding back. And let's see what happens. And also, the combo indicator said 2 hits because it jails. It's guaranteed. The down 2 is guaranteed after getting the 4-1+2 trade, which is good. So again, if I mash down forward 1, he straight up beats me. So 10 frames will trade with the 4-1+2 into down 2, and that is in Giga's favor, like obviously, right? And some buttons that are slower, so 11, 12, 13 and slower, they will lose against this. So that means that you're getting 64 damage, good, and no combo. You don't even need to combo. But the thing here is, notice that the down 2 launcher is 37 damage. That's high. That's nothing to laugh at, because normally down 2 is like 14 damage. Let me see. It's not a lot. 13 damage, which is nothing compared to 37. So I'm gonna try my best to show some basic combo with the 4-1+2 trade into down 2. So I'll be right back. So you've seen it, 90 damage, which is, in my opinion, on the high end for how simple that was. It wasn't even optimal. I could have done something with the wall. I could have done way more, and I netted 90 damage, which is pretty good, in my opinion. Okay, so I hope that helped a little bit on some of the key moves I covered. And to be very honest, this is really, for me, a much better thing to record the format like this, as this doesn't really consume a lot of time. I still have to edit a lot of stuff afterwards, but it's way easier for me to edit those kind of formats, and I hope they're still informative and handy for you guys, because the auto format it looks really cool. It is really cool looking, but editing those kind of formats now with how real life shenanigans is playing right now is just a bit beyond my capacity, and I just can't do that anymore. But these kind of videos are a bit better, way better to edit for me, and still publish some Gigas videos to help you guys out with Gigas. And I hope these key moves kind of covered some strengths and weaknesses that you guys didn't know, or that you now have, or that you have a better idea how to use those moves right now, instead of just really having like, okay, but why should I use this? Why not, right? Now you have a better idea to use said move on said situation. So I'm really appreciated that you guys are sticking out on this channel. I'm grateful that you guys are having or having so much cool and kind words on my channel. So thanks a lot for checking this video and checking my channel, and I'll see you in the next video, which definitely will be more of these kind of formats covering key moves. And trust me when I say those other key moves will have even more layers of thought process, strengths, weaknesses, reasons why to use it, reasons why you shouldn't or when not. So I'm really hyped to edit other videos on other key moves, as I'm seeing my own list right now that I have to cover, like down forward 4 is a really good move, down back 4 is an amazing move, but I have to talk about that, right? So thanks everybody for checking this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care everybody.